Hello everyone, welcome to my blog. So today we will be seeing the IBM Maximo service request error handling. We are in this video we'll be seeing a specific issue that has arisen in doing the service request. So first we'll see what is the problem statement and then what is its solution. So moving ahead, the problem statement is I have SRs created in Maximo Classic that are routed manually. The service requests that are created from mobile need to fall into the workflow automatically. I do not have auto initiate workflow enabled as it will affect the SRs created in Maximo Classic as well. I tried to route the SRs from escalations and script, but I'm facing the below error BMX AA4349E. Workflow started in the background requires user interaction. So we will see this issue also. Is there any way to auto initiate the workflow created via mobiles? I have the different statuses to differentiate the record created in classic and mobile. So basically here we are seeing that the SRs that are routed manually and automatically created, how to solve this issue. Moving ahead. So to auto initiate the workflow for SRs created via mobile, while still maintaining the manual routing for SRs created in Maximo Classic, you can follow these steps. The first one is create a new attribute. Go in Maximo, create a new attribute source to distinguish it from the mobile and classic. Then set up a conditional expression that will identify mobile created SRs automatically. This can be done using automation scripting also or an escalation. Then create a new launch point. In Maximo workflow, you create a new launch point. This will be triggered by the condition which is set in mobile created SRs. Then configure the launch point by matching the status of SR to one of the used mobile created SRs, and then configure the launch point to automatically initiate the workflow process for these SRs. Fifth point is disable auto initiate workflow. Make sure you are disabling the auto initiate workflow option in Maximo settings. Then manual routing for Maximo Classic SRs. Continue the existing manual routing processes in SRs created in Maximo Classic. These should not be impacted by auto-initiated workflow process. Then you have to test it with the desired automatically and defined conditions that you have designed. Then you have to address the BMX AA43949E error. This error ensures that there are no actions required for user interaction within the workflow process as it conflicts with the auto initiation. We will see in detail what this error does and how we can solve it. Then you review and refine your process. And so by following these steps, you will be able to automatically initiate the workflows for SRs in mobile while keeping your manual routing intact. The differentiation between the two types of SRs can be achieved by source attribute and the conditional launch point in Maximo workflow. Once you have done this, then to address the BMXAA4349E error, you have to identify the specific workflow causing this error, review the configurations that are determined, then you have to check any missings or incorrect inputs that might trigger the need for user input. If necessary, modify the workflow by changing or handling all required inputs automatically without user interaction. If the user interaction is necessary, ensure that the user is notified and the appropriate action is taken. Then test the modified workflow and ensure that it runs without errors. By addressing these steps, you should be able to resolve the error and allow the workflow to run successfully in the background without requiring the user interaction, and this will make the process clear and well communicated to users. There's one more small error that we were seeing is user not accepting modification. So user interaction for the SRs created in Classic is unavoidable, but the SRs created in mobile, it is required to auto-initiate those workflows. But the user is not accepting the suggestion to modify the workflow. If this is the case, then there are alternative approaches you can consider. First is conditional workflow. You create a conditional workflow same as the workflow and which can behave differently based on the origin of the SR. In this case, the workflow will automatically initiate the SR created in the mobile app but still require user interaction for SRs created in the Classic interface. Then you create the mobile specific workflow. You create a separate one which is designed to create in the mobile app. Once this is tailored to handle this automatically without any user interaction, this will explain to the user that the mobile workflow for mobile SRs and it will won't affect the Classic SRs. The third one is escalation and reminders. So if the users that are concerned is missing important information for the auto-initiated SRs, you can configure the workflow accordingly to send the reminders and or escalations to higher levels. This way the user will be notified when their intervention is required. Then is incentives or trainings. Offer incentives or provide additional trainings to encourage user to adapt to this new workflow process. But this is like just an advantage for the Maximo users to use the workflow. One just an additional point for that. Then is user input gathering. Once the user are reluctant to use this and they are missing the crucial information, you can modify the mobile apps SR that are created to process to gather the required inputs upfront to minimize the need of interaction later. Then comes the gradual implementation that changes by starting a pilot project or a pilot group that are limited to this mobile app SRs and then collect the feedback from them and then send it to a bigger group. Management support, yes, we need the higher management support and supervisor support so that we can communicate the importance of the change and its benefits to the users. So it's important to involve the users in the decision making process and then find out the solutions that will meet their needs while also achieving the desired automation goals. So the open communication and empathy are keys to successfully resolving this kind of situation. So that's it for this video, and I guess it would had been a very helpful guide for you to solve such kind of issues which are usually occurring. So thank you very much for listening this. Bye bye.